As a mushroom and ramen enthusiast, I have to share with you how to make one of my favorite ramens, oyster mushroom ramen. This recipe isn't for the faint of heart, but this is one of the best ramen recipes that you'll ever make. You can use grown or foraged oyster mushrooms, whichever you prefer. There's lots of different varieties. Oyster mushrooms are a very easy mushroom to grow if you're interested in picking up like a grow kit, or otherwise you can forage them pretty easily. Right now they're in season. They like to grow on dying trees, and yeah, they're very delicious. Ramen is one of my favorite things to make, and I take my ramen very seriously. To start, you need to make your dashi, and you're just gonna combine your kombu, your dried shiitake mushrooms, your smoked dulse, and your sun-dried tomatoes with the water, and you let this sit in the fridge minimum of overnight, and it's recommended that you do it for a couple of days because then you really get really flavorful broth. Like, look at how dark this is right now. So this is gonna be super flavorful, so make sure that you start with that. So the stuff we're gonna be adding is an apple, onion, garlic, this potato, and we're just gonna roughly chop this all up for roasting in the oven. When doing the garlic, just crush it with the skins on to prevent the garlic from burning. Added everything to a bowl. I'm gonna try to break up these onion bits just a little bit, and you're gonna cover it with enough olive oil to just like evenly coat it. So like roughly a 1/4 cup, but you could get away with less. We just want to prevent the vegetables from burning. Remember to wash your hands if you're gonna toss them with your hands. Otherwise, just use some gloves or use some little like salad tongs to kind of toss everything. And now we bake everything for 45 minutes. All right, so now that our vegetables and mushrooms are all roasted, we're going to add it to our stock pot. You can use either a stock pot if you're gonna cook it on the stove, or use an Instant Pot. I'm using an Instant Pot just because I don't have to keep an eye on things to make sure that things aren't burning or whatever. It's just easier for me to do it this way. But it also works great on the stove. So you just want to add everything in here to your pot. Then we're going to add all of our water and aquafaba to the rest of this. So now we want to add an equivalent of like 8 cups of water, and try to use as much as you can of that to be aquafaba. So I made some chickpeas the other day, and this is like the liquid that the chickpeas cooked with. You can use any kind of bean for this ramen. What's nice about the aquafaba is, like, I don't know if you can see, but it's much thicker than the water. It has extra minerals in it, and it has like this like depth of flavor that really adds this umami that, I don't know, it's just really awesome in ramen. Add the rest of this water. Now, totally optional, I'm going to take out the shiitake mushrooms from our dashi, and I'm going to add them to our broth before we cook them, because the next step is we're going to strain all of this, and we're going to discard all the solids in this because we really just want the liquid for the dashi. And bay leaf. This is what our broth is going to look like. We're going to just let this slow cook or simmer for an hour. We're going to take our dashi and we're going to just strain it over our saucepan. I'm using a Dutch oven because I need a new saucepan. You know, just make it work for you. I'm just gonna strain that. And I'm going to reserve the rest of this for more vegetable broth in the future. All right, now let's add 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar, 1 cup of soy sauce. Add all the other seasonings to this dashi. And now we let everything boil for 1 minute. We have our tare made. So I'm just gonna jar this up. We're gonna have a little, I'm gonna take some more oyster mushrooms and I'm just gonna coat them in a little bit of avocado oil. And I'm thinking I'm just gonna do a little bit of seasonings. You can use whatever seasoning blends that you think it tastes great and you have on hand. I've been kind of addicted to this like kimchi salt. It's super delicious. It's like this tangy, like kimchi flavored salt. I got this at the farmer's market, but I think Whole Foods sells it too. Just do a little bit of that over my mushrooms. And I think I need to do a little bit of garlic powder too. All together. And now let's air fry this. Since I have a few bigger mushrooms, I'm gonna take a fork and I'm going to shred the base before I put them in the air fryer. This gives them a really awesome texture. Toppings, I'm gonna be doing some oyster mushrooms, some Beyond sausage, and I have some bok choy. I'm just going to pan fry the bok choy in a little bit of like soy sauce, and I'm going to pan fry the Beyond sausages. And on top of that, I'm just gonna air fry my oyster mushrooms, and that'll be some really great toppings. Use whatever vegetables are seasonal that you just have available to you. You really can't go wrong with your toppings, except for not using enough. Have our toppings made. We're gonna do some roasted mushrooms. These were all air fried. Got some Beyond sausage, bok choy. I did some grated carrots in some chili crisp, and now I'm gonna add some fresh ramen noodles. Definitely use fresh or frozen ramen noodles for this, just because you're putting in so much effort to like make this the ultimate ramen experience. Like, the noodles honestly help make this dish like just that much better. In your serving bowl, add your tare and then strain in your vegetable broth. From here, you're gonna put in your cooked noodles and then start to assemble all of your toppings. Depending on the types of toppings that you're gonna use for your ramen bowl, it's gonna look a little bit different, but then make sure that you top it with some chili crisp or some kind of chili oil to really round out all the flavors, bring it all together, and top with some green onions or leeks like this. Oh, let's dive into this ramen. Be sure to subscribe to this video if you want to see more fun recipes.